My name is Daniel Emeka, creative entrepreneur from Lagos, Nigeria, founder of Socreo, Ethnicity, Niger Designers, and who knows what else in the next 5 years. From Imo State, I had a very beautiful home. I think that has basically shaped me to who I am today. I grew up thinking I was going to be a doctor. At the later stage of my teenage life, I began to understand that I was built to be something different. I was built to be something I didn't even understand as at then. The crux of the dream kept stayed alive. Someone that everybody was going to reckon with at some point is still alive, and I don't think that's dying anytime soon. I started my career as a graphic designer. I always wanted to be on billboards. I always wanted my work to be seen, across Nigeria, across Africa, across the world. I love the idea of people. I love the idea of understanding people. Every business that I go into, that has always given me the challenge of figuring out what will make this next person happy, what will make this next person fulfilled. Getting to actually make the next person happy through the things I do, I think it's actually part of my discovery process to what I currently do, as a creative entrepreneur. Nigeria Designers it's a beautiful baby that has grown significantly. A lot of Nigerian designers had not come into limelight then, so it was 1, 2, 3 designers here and there. I knew that there was a lot more for Nigerians to offer because a lot of brands kept on giving their design jobs to South Africans, Tunisians, Moroccans, even outside the shores of Africa. But those things that were being given out, we believed that it could be done here. So what we did was to try and see how can we create a group where a lot of designers could be. How can we create a group where we could actually show the world that Nigerian designers had something to offer. A group where designers can come showcase their works. A group where people that are actually looking for designers as well can employ a lot of people. And that grew on well. That was back in 2009. We started with a member of 5 on both platforms, that's Instagram and Facebook. We are currently about over 50,000, and that's the feat that I look back on and I'm like, yeah, we've actually gone a long way to have a collective of 50,000 interests on a group that started with just 5. Yeah, that has been a very good journey for us. There were a couple of times, the Nigerian tailor issues where you give your tailor a particular dress or a particular outfit, and the tailor ends up messing it up. It's either he doesn't get the job right, or either he doesn't start at all. When looking into these excuses in depth, you begin to realize that most of these things can actually be solved. Most of these issues can actually not happen if these tailors are properly managed. Me understanding this, I kind of try to look for what is the best way to actually solve this problem. For people to be able to say, oh, I want a particular outfit, and that outfit could actually be done. I got partners together, which we looked through the idea and we built this platform called Ethnicity. Ethnicity started as a way to actually manage you getting your outfits from start to finish. We created outfits for the guys on Big Brother Nigeria. That was an opportunity that was not even there, but once it came through, at the slightest chance, we were able to utilize it, and it kind of sprung the image of the business. As at then, I think the business was barely 6 months old, and we were given the opportunity of creating outfits that the entire Africa was going to see. For me, it's one of the biggest achievements I've been able to see physically. Aside from that, I also think for my marketing agency, being able to create world-class marketing campaigns for brands such as UBA, Chivita, and the likes, has been also a very, very great achievement for me. And I look back on those and I'm actually grateful that we've been able to seize those opportunities and actually create value out of them. Problems comes with business, and you foreseeing that you're going to have problems also helps. You will never get to a point where you're actually satisfied, or where you do not have problems that you end up dealing with. When those problems do arrive, I see them as a mirage. Because I know that beyond those problems is a success story. Like at every point of fear is where you're actually meant to grow. So me understanding that going beyond this point would actually mean growth for me has always been a way for me to actually look beyond these problems and actually move forward, than just accepting the problem as it is and deciding, nah, this is too much. So I always know that beyond a particular problem is a success story. So that's how I've been able to look beyond whatever problems that comes my way. My line of business is passion. I feel like if you're not passionate about what you're doing, then there is no point you venturing into it at the first place, because nothing ever goes as planned. You know, you could have a fantastic business idea, a business plan. You could have if you could have 1-2 good projects, you could have even very good money come through on 1 or 2 of these projects, and you feel like, oh yeah, but if you do not have the passion to stick to it, because at some point things could actually go wrong. Any single thing, and I repeat, any single thing can be achieved as long as you keep your goal in place. I understand that there are going to be bad times, and I know there are definitely going to be failures. But as long as you see those failures as mirages, as long as you see those bad times as stepping stones, you would never, ever, ever fail. Success is just behind that door. I need you to look back at those things that you're scared of. Are you scared of the fact that, oh, if I go into this, I might fail, or if I tell my parents this, I might lose it, or they might lose it? I need you to look within those situations and figure out, how do you inspire those ones around you to say, let me give this guy a chance. The HR of one of my former employers said to me, and I think that has been the driving force for every single thing I've done since I started my business. She said to me, Daniel, you have so much energy. Why not use it for yourself than people that would not appreciate it? And it's the same thing I put out to a lot of young people out there. You know what you have, and even if no one can see it, use it for yourself. Let them see it, because once they do, they would also believe in that energy. They will also believe in that power. They also believe in that talent. But you need to show it. You can't sit down and say, my parents won't allow me, or my fiance will say no, or this job I'm doing is boring. Whatever the energy is, find a way to exhibit it. Figure out a way of bringing it back, bringing it out to life. And once that is done, that is the first step. That is the motivation force. That's a driving force to make you know that yes, it can happen. And once you've taken that step, do not look back. I want to build businesses that outlive me. I want to build businesses that outlives this initial idea. I see people like Bezos that started selling commodities to now creating solutions that could rule the world in the future. I see people like Elumelu that started working out with people and today have built estates of industries that would definitely outlive his name. That is the goal for me, because you can never really say the next 5 years is actually going to be the same name. You can never really say ethnicity is going to keep on making clothes in the next 5 years. You can never really say so. People like Nintendo started having brothels in whole houses, and today they are one of the biggest technology giants in the world, making sure that name is alive, that name doesn't die. And that for me is the goal. That for me is where I see this entire thing going through. To make sure that the name outlives me, to make sure that these solutions outlives me, outlives generations even after me, is the goal.